magic, gente. Welcome to your monthly medicine tarot reading for June 2023. And whenever you are hearing this, whether it is in the month and the year that is specific to it, or whether it's like 5 years, 50 years, however many years, or whatever month, these readings are really evergreen and in deep divine connection to energy. And our energy timelines aren't the same as our Gregorian calendar linear timelines. So whenever you are hearing this message is potent and powerful for you. So we kind of have a doozy this month. Sometimes as I'm shuffling, two cards will pop out, or one card will land in my hand, or two cards will land in my hand, or one will flip out and the other one will land in my hand. And I don't remember the exact way in which these two cards came into play, but you can watch the 2023 card pool reading on my YouTube channel at Brandi Sky. And this month we have two cards. We have the Seven of Swords overlaying the Knight of Wands. And there's really so much that can be said about these cards individually, but also these cards collectively and in tandem together. But the one thing that I really heard when I first looked at these cards this morning, as I was getting ready to hit record on this reading, I heard a really primal, very loud voice that said, "Don't let anyone or anything steal your fire or your drive." And that was the first thing I heard when I looked at these cards, because, the Seven of Swords can indicate a betrayal, a stealing, a plan not going the way that you want it to go, right? So that's one way of looking at it. We'll look at it a little bit different later on in the reading. But so I had that energy. The first thing I heard was, don't let anyone steal or anything steal. And then here we have the Knight of Wands, and the Knight of Wands is fire upon fire, right? It's drive. It is just a full force going forward. And that is so representational of our desire, our drive, our passions, our vision, our life, the things that we want to do. And so it makes sense that the first thing I heard when I saw these cards was, don't let anyone steal your drive or your fire. And so I really want that to be kind of like the overarching umbrella for this month. Whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's launching a business, whether it's, sharing your first ever personal blog post, or sharing a little piece of your life on Instagram, don't let the shade of others dim your shine, okay? I've been saying that to myself for a really long time. Don't let anyone or anything steal your fire or your drive. So that's really the overarching medicine. But I also want us to, so I heard that, and then I was kind of, digging into the connections and how it's connected, what planets and astrology and the elements. And as I was diving into the more occult connections to the cards, another really loud and predominant thought, sound, word, sentence came into my head. And this is really the idea of but it's this idea of a defiant act of fire, a defiant act of passion, of creativity, of drive. So the other way that we can look at the Seven of Swords isn't like a betrayal or someone, stealthing into a camp and stealing something that isn't theirs. It's also can be a reclamation, a going into the camp and stealing what is rightfully theirs. And not even stealing, I want to take that word out of it, but really just reclaiming what was theirs, reclamation of land, reclamation of praxis, like indigenous praxis. So like there could be and is this reclamation of a thing that is theirs. And so we have this whole defiance, taking back what is ours. That reclamation is is a revolutionary act. It is an act of rebellion against the social norms and everything, the systems that are put into place. And it is a solid stance of sovereignty. And so the looking at the Seven of Swords in that way, and then looking at the Knight of Wands, like this is a defiant act of fire, a defiant act of what drives us, of what our purpose is, of what we came here to do. And whether that is a reclamation, whether that's a proclamation, there is also on the other side this really internalized fire that then comes out in the air, like in the air field, which is, our voice, which could be writing, which could be communication. We're in the season currently of Gemini, the sun, and we're getting ready to have a new moon later on this month in Gemini. So we're in this very mercurial energy. And so this is about like speaking out that fire, speaking out your stance, speaking out whatever it is you're reclaiming. And it's a really beautiful like energy that we're working with. And taking it even a layer deeper, the major arcana that corresponds to the Knight of Wands is Temperance, right? Temperance is the mother of like alchemy. It is the embodiment of the alchemical process. And so here we have fire, which is the first stage, the calcination of alchemy, like in the Knight of Wands. And then here we have, the Seven of Swords that's saying, okay, we've gone through this process of temperance, this alchemy of a blending of ourselves. Now it's time to really voice that out, reclaim what is ours, reclaim our stories, reclaim our medicine, reclaim our magic, and get that out in the world. Put our fire into the earth. Make that manifest through the element of air. And so there's so much beauty this month to really sink into both, maybe it's a reclamation. Maybe it is, building better boundaries so someone doesn't come and steal your passion, steal your energy. Maybe it's like a self-regulatory thing where you're looking at where are you leaking energy? What things do you do in your life that are stealing your energy from you? Are you binging? Are you scrolling on Facebook? Are you doing things that are just kind of siphoning out your energy? How are you betraying yourself? And so there's this really kind of and big energy going around that kind of, are we in a reclamation, or are we needing to really create solid boundaries and borders when it comes to our personal sacred flame, our fire, our dreams, our passion, our ganas, are the thing that lights us up and the thing that we came here to do. The knights are action oriented, right? Out of the court cards, they are the ones that go out on the quest. They do the journey. They go search for the Holy Grail. Like they are the warriors that are sent out by, the king and the queen to go out and do the mission. And so we are being called to do the mission and to really look at and make sure that we are either opened up in the sense of, we are reclaiming what is ours, or we are bordered up so that we are keeping our fire and the things that are ours ours. So what I really kind of want to invite us all this month is to sit with the reading and then kind of feel into, where are you being called to? Are you being called to maybe place higher boundaries and borders because you're in this element of, you feel like somebody's, or something is stealing your energy and your fire? Or are you in this space of radical reclamation of like, I am reclaiming this shit as mine, and then seeing how that ties into your creativity and passions? Like, what have you been wanting to create? We're actually, this month, we're getting ready to shift from spring to summer, right? We're about to go into this summer month, and it's a heat and it's hot. And so we have, we move into the direction of the south, which in my, praxis, is water. And so there's just so many elemental things that are coming through and that are asking and seeking our attention. But really, the hub and the center and the sun of all of this for us is our passion, our fire, our drive, our creative revolutionary acts, and really looking at what it is we want to create this month and seeing which direction, we need to do self-care in, reclamation or boundaries, and then really giving ourselves the rest of the month and really our lifetimes to discover what it is. And I invite you also to pull a companion card, right? Pull a card for yourself and see how this message is directly like linked to you. That could also be like a really good clarifying card, to help you kind of see if you're kind of like, well, I'm in the middle of both. Pull a card yourself and see where, how, and in what aspect this universal message lands for you. So I'm really, really excited. I also want to invite you. So when I was looking and thinking about the Knight of Wands, the first song that I thought of that came into my head was Blaze of Glory by Bon Jovi. So I highly recommend you go and listen to that song, because it really is all about like going out in a blaze of glory. And if the Knight of Wands doesn't figure out a way to kind of corral or like tether the fire in them, right, they're just going to burn out, right? And so we also don't want to burn out. We want like this, not even, it doesn't even have to be a slow burn. We just need a burn that is tethered and centered to our values and our, what we're really wanting to build. So maybe that's an invitation to look at what is holding and centering your fire. What is the cup or the land in which the string, the tether that is holding your fire and centering it so you don't burn out. Maybe that is a praxis. Maybe it's a, 5-minute meditation or body realignment or tapping that really kind of tethers you back into your body when you're just like churning in this state of alchemical fire and going and passion, like finding ways that we recenter our fire, all of our creative energy back into ourselves so that we can stay rooted in our energy field, and our energy also has time to recalibrate, right? We have time to rest and recuperate so that way we can keep churning out and avoid burnout and not go down in a blaze of glory like Bon Jovi. So I hope that this medicine reading has been extremely helpful. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. I would also love, you can shoot me a DM over on Instagram at Brandi Mar Sky. I also want to let you know that I am doing an amazing 5-day free challenge called What Are You Going to Do About It? It is 5 days of creative dares, really centered around helping spiritual creatives, witchy creatives, folks who want to, use their art to kind of transcend and transform and revolutionize humanity. Really get you out of like self-doubt and silencing your inner critic. And this is really a beautiful time. The cards are really calling us to do that. And so it's totally free. I linked the sign up in the notes. Please sign up. It's free. It is going to be the most amazing experience. I'm going to send you it's going to be 5 days of dares. Every day is going to be a new dare, and they're all designed to help you get out of self-doubt, silence your inner critic, and really just get momentum going on your creative, passion, fiery dreams. I love y'all so, so much. And I will see you either in Sacred Creatrix, and if you're in it, on Instagram, if you are there at Brandi Mars Sky, or in our next monthly medicine reading. I love y'all so, so much. And Lakesh.